Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's National Bagel Day, baby! What you know about that? Let's get it poppin'. Who's ready to get it poppin'? It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. You know, I should let you know that you're really not supposed to use that phrase. You know, get it poppin'. It's actually, I don't know if you know this, Roland, but you know that's gang lingo. Do you know? Are you aware of that? You do know. Oh, why do you never stop me?
I was under the assumption that you were affiliated.
No, hell no.
Oh, was I mistaken?
Absolutely mistaken. I don't get down with those people. No affiliation whatsoever.
Man.
So yeah, but yeah, I've always loved the phrase. I love it since back in the early 2000s. My former, I would say boss, but you know, a guy used to do radio. He used to say it all the time. I used to love it when he said that. Let's get it popping. And it's just something that just carried on just in my.
I think DJs and rap music has made that more famous than gang affiliation.
Exactly. It's just sort of a phrase that people use, and people are very comfortable. No one even recognizes it as gang lingo anymore.
I think you're all right.
Good. As long as they know.
You got a pass.
Well, I have to get a pass. I'm not wearing the right colors. That's first off. Just so you know. A lot of stuff going on. As I just mentioned in the beginning, it's National Bagel Day, January 15th. For those of you who are going to call and correct me, don't worry, I know the history. I worked on it. All right, I made sure of it. This was not the original National Bagel Day. It used to be in February 9th to be exact. And then that changed because, well, it was also National Lox Day. So they put National Bagel Day with bagel and lox. Okay, obviously perfect synergy, if you will. But it's also, you may not know this, it's also National Pizza Day on February 9th. So it righteously, they had to pick a new day. They pushed it in 2015 to January 15, pushed it back. And then it sort of had some luster, but it didn't certify as a date until 2020. So now it is official. Today is National Bagel Day. Now, even Roland said, hey, well, why didn't we do the whole, between rounds bagels on today as opposed to Friday? I have no idea, but it doesn't mean we can't celebrate it, folks. We are going to celebrate National Bagel Day tomorrow at Between Rounds Bagels in Vernon on Hartford Turnpike. It's just off the highway. Across the street from another good friend of ours, Wooden Tap. And you can, in fact, that pawn shop that's right next door, love that place. Every time I go, in fact, when I go to a pawn shop, I tell people all the time, I feel guilty when I leave a pawn shop and not buy anything. They always go, the guy in there said to me, no one's stopping you. They just didn't have anything that I wanted. And I'm in the market for a drone. My wife says I can get one. My wife says that I can get a drone. This will also get me out of the house. I really want a drone. I've flown kites for a long time. I'm bored with the kite flying, although I fly them very well. I want a drone. And I want one of those drones with the camera on it so I can see. Now, I don't want to do any peeping Tom stuff. I just want to see. It's like a flight simulator with an actual drone. You know what I mean? It's like it's going up in the air without having to go up in the air. So that's the reason why I want to do it. And I kind of like drone shots, and I want to control it and, get an opportunity to be a pilot. When I went to the Waterbury Police Department, they showed me their drones. Oh, there was a part of me that I was almost asking the guys at the Waterbury Police Department, come on, you can sell one of them, right? That drone is probably a couple $1,000s, probably tens of thousands of dollars. But they looked so nice. And what was also great about it is that one of them only flies for 30 minutes, another one flies for 51. But what's fantastic is that the drone, when the battery power gets low, it self-pilots back to its dock. And on top of the Waterbury Police, where they have theirs, I don't know if am I giving secret information? I don't know if I'm supposed to. I can do this. They showed it to me on the tour. So they have a dock on top of the Waterbury Police Department that they showed me. They just push a button, and the thing opens up. It's like a helicopter's about to pop. Well, it's a drone, but it pops open like that, and then it comes up, and they showed me how it opens up. Oh, it's so cool. It's very Batman-like. That's all I can say. It's very Batman-like. The Waterbury Police, if you guys are listening, please let the chief know that Reese on Radio is going to bring people by to go see that facility. They need to see it because it is state-of-the-art what they're doing at the Waterbury Police. And by the way, if anybody else in the police department, they want me to come by and tour, I'm absolutely going to go there. By the way, some people are supposed to be getting back to me on these manufacturing companies. I haven't heard any word yet about me going down there. I want to see a factory. I want to see it actually in action. I'll be there as early as 9 a.m. I'll come in with a hard hat, a lunchbox. What do you got? Steve Austin, $6 million man? What do you want? Huh? You want the Partridge Family? I got them all. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a lunchbox. But I can buy one. I can look the part. So I want to do both of those things. If you got some advanced technology that you want to show off, show it to Reese on the Radio. I want to go check it out. So, like I said, we'll be in Vernon tomorrow at the Hartford Turnpike location. Please come by and hang out with us. I will admit, Roland, can I tell a personal secret about tomorrow that's bothering me? That I want to share this on the air with you, and you're going to probably tell me I should relax. But can I tell you what I'm nervous about? I'm a little nervous that no one will show up. It is one of those things where everyone says, "Hey, what if no one shows? What if everyone says, yeah, I'm not going to that thing." I have this strange feeling that I'm going to get there and be like, "Hey, what happened?" It's a weird thing, but we'll be there nonetheless. I'll make the best of it. And if there are already customers in there, you are in for a treat. So we're going to have a blast doing that. What happened to Roland? Is he doing something? Oh, he may have stepped out. Just let me run. Anyway, wave if you're back there. I can't see you through the reflective glass. I can't really see you all that well. No, he's not in there. Okay, never mind. I'm out here by myself, talking to myself, I might add. What else is new? Today's opening monologue is sort of a two-parter. And I was thinking about this as I was watching this footage in Minneapolis. And then, of course, reminded of what happened at the Hartford ICE facility here in Hartford last week. And there are some people who are talking, I would almost say, reckless about a coming civil war. And that ridiculous mayor, Fahey, in Minneapolis, is really trying to suggest that it could very well happen. What was he talking about? He was talking about ICE agents versus the police. And I got to be honest with you. I know a lot of police officers, retired, current here and across the country. And I'll tell you off the bat, the solidarity between those men and women in uniform, no matter what their stripes, is devout. They understand the job. Many of them want the other's job, if you get my meaning. Many of them take their jobs and wish to be in another branch of law enforcement, be it the hierarchy, if you will, the national ranks, to detective, just anything and everything. They respect that badge. And they respect what every one of them do. So a likelihood that local police officers would take up arms against federal police. Only a politician, an idiot, like a Tim Walz or a Jacob Fahey, whatever his name is, Fry, would ever suggest that. That those men and women in uniform would turn up. Because there's one thing that everyone, especially in Minneapolis, there's one thing that every one of those men and women know. Is that, truth be told, those rioters, and that's what they are, they're not protesters anymore. That's over. Those rioters hate the badge. They hate the police. All forms of it. They do. If you don't believe me, just listen to their own words. This is the new Black Panther Party. They claim to be a part of the old Black Panther Party. But this is what they said about the police. For some reason, those ghetto hood rats can't say the word police. They say police. You know, the police. I don't know what that's about. It's the police.
Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's going to happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, around and find out. Our interactions with the police and ICE, and we hold them accountable. We hold them accountable. We patrol the community and we hold them accountable. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now, you dig? Carry bigger guns and we don't take no shit. Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them and it needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't going to act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. That means them shotgun shells that shoot out of a pump, they shoot them rapidly. If you are going to legally arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. Those who serve in the public, they should be fearful of the public. They should be fearful that the public is going to be dissatisfied with their job that they're doing, not feeling like they're tyrants, not feeling like they're bullies because they got guns and body armor and walkie-talkies. That makes them immune to whatever the people would do. I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet them with equal force. All power to the motherfucking people. No power to the pig.
Now, who do you think they're talking about? Just ICE? Who are they talking about when they talk about the pigs? It was like, oh, not you guys. They're talking about all law enforcement. They're talking about an uprising of the people against law enforcement. That includes the police. And you know what happens. You know exactly what's going to happen. The police will be used to brutalize and to help the stand down of ICE agents. And then the police will be in the crosshairs because the police is supposed to be there to maintain order. But you saw what happened last week? Police officers were forced out of the area in Minneapolis because people were throwing rocks and snowballs and harassing them because they were understaffed, outgunned, and unmanned. Something like that. What they said, they got 600 officers in Minneapolis? And all those protesters? Now they're breaking into police vehicles and ICE agents' vehicles. They stole a gun. They stole documents, classified documents. They have details on officers, where they're staying, who they're trying to apprehend. And you don't think that law enforcement has to band at some point? They're going to have to band with ICE agents, or they're going to have to stand down completely. They're going to have to show their spine, yellow or not. A lot of police officers are going to be asked to stand there, sit idly by. And I don't know how officers do it today. Somebody's going to have to explain it to me. How an officer can sit idly by while their brothers in law enforcement are attacked and brutalized. Unless, of course, the police departments here in Hartford, police departments out in Minneapolis, secretly don't stand with their brothers. Let me say this, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hell for this, but no one will be able to say that I'm lying. You know, you go to my X page or my Facebook page and you watch that video that Roseanne filmed of those people attacking those federal officers as they left that facility in Hartford. To Roseanne's right, there were 5 police officers. 5. Who were following orders to stand down, to not engage, even as the citizens that they are sworn to protect were putting themselves in harm's way. They didn't have to engage ICE officers, but they could have cleared the road. That is their duty, to make sure that those officers were able to leave that facility untouched. Because remember, they're supposed to be peaceful protesters. But they were accosting vehicles, slapping the windows, and then breaking them with metal rods. At that point, those protesters became assailants, and the police witnessed it and did not intervene. I don't put that on the officers. I understand that they may be following orders, but remember, someone like this Jacob Frey is very likely to tell these police officers to stand against their fellow law enforcement officers. I don't see it happening, but I could be wrong. The Civil War portion of all of this when we return. Stand by. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Yeah, make sure you do that. Always check out the show online if you can't get it when you're sitting at work or sitting at home or doing whatever it is you do. I know you guys catch it when you can, and I appreciate you whenever you can. Sometimes you miss stuff, and that's why it's important to check out the show when you can. We got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of breaking news, breaking down stories. I think right now we are working on, I think we got a confirmation a week from today. We've got Betsy McCoy coming in. She's confirmed for yesterday. Well, she made her announcement yesterday, but she confirmed yesterday she's going to be on next week at 3 o'clock. So we'll talk to her. I've got some tough questions for her. Although that I know that she's got popularity, and I get all of that, but I still got some tough questions about her candidacy that I want to get to the bottom of. So we'll talk to her about that. We're also working on 2 serious guests. I should say 4. We're working on 4 serious guests. And if I can say anything, I can already guarantee one of them. But should I give a hint on who we're working on? So then even if it doesn't pan out, then I don't, I guess if I don't say, then it doesn't matter. But I feel like I should say to just say that we're working on it, right? That it almost feels like I should say it. You're probably going to want to know. Okay. So one of the ones we're working on, of course, is in recent, I want to say current events, Riley Gaines we're working on. That probably will come very soon. Riley Gaines looks very, very possible. We're looking at 50-50 on that. We look at least 75 to 80% on Mike Rowe, which I'm really looking forward to talk to because, as you know, we want to work on an initiative this year that's sort of a Job Corps sort of thing, helping people get jobs and featuring other businesses in and around the state of Connecticut who are looking for employees. So we're going to talk to him. Another is, oh, what the hell? We'll just say it. We're working on the president and the vice president. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Okay? I didn't say the vice president or the president of what. Yes, we're working on both of them. It's going to take forever. We know there's a bunch of stuff, but we're working on it. And I will let you know the details. So keep focused. Keep me on it, and I will get details. We'll see where we go from there. A lot of people are falling for the low-hanging fruit that the news media wants us to pay attention to. And there's a lot of buzz about a coming civil war. As you guys know, there's nothing new about that in the last 4 or 5 years. It has always been a question of, are we there yet? We are not. And you could take this Black Panther Party nonsense, and you could take that and say, damn, they're out there with guns. Sure, they're out there with guns. But I want to parse this in a way so you can understand. Remember, the new Black Panthers, or the Black Panthers as these guys are calling themselves, they don't understand exactly what they are revealing in their arguments. Like this particular line in the video I just played. Actually, you know what? Since you probably just joined us, let's play the whole thing over again. The Black Panthers in Minneapolis talking about immigration, immigrants, ICE agents, and police overall.
Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's going to happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, around and find out. Our interactions with the police and ICE, and we hold them accountable.
Remember, our confrontations with police and ICE, they are one and the same to these folks.
We patrol the community and we hold them accountable. The Black Panther Party for self-defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now, you dig? Carry bigger guns and we don't take no shit. Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them and it needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't going to act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. That means them shotgun shells that shoot out of a pump, they shoot them rapidly. If you are going to legally arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. Those who serve in the public, they should be fearful of the public. They should be fearful that the public is going to be dissatisfied with their job that they're doing, not feeling like they're tyrants, not feeling like they're bullies because they got guns and body armor and walkie-talkies. That makes them immune to whatever the people would do. I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet them with equal force. All power to the motherfucking people. No power to the pig.
Now, you're saying it's like, damn, Reese, has it gotten that bad? Slow down. Slow down. That's a lot of talk for somebody who ain't in the, as many people would say. You know the word. He ain't never been in the, he too pretty. His hair's nice. Got the nice little, half black, half white curls. Probably mixed race. All pretty. Talking all slick. I got a legal firearm. Look at me with my big gun. They ain't never going to step to me. Well, neither is he now. Neither is he. But I thought it was interesting how he referred to the immigrants that he is supposed to protect.
I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher.
The slave catcher? Who's the slave here, buddy?
I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet him with equal force.
That's right. That's right. The slave catcher. That's you, Latinos. That's you. Because he's a freedom fighter, protecting you, the slave. Oh, I love it when they talk honestly, speaking truth to power, as they say. My favorite part was, which one of you bozos are going to be a part of this?
Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them, and it needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe.
Now, I ain't say I'm going to do it. I did not say I'm going to do that. I said that the people need to put themselves around the illegal. Oh, sorry. My apologies. Don't want to misgender or misname them. Wrap yourselves around the slave. No, yes, all of you, get around and protect the slave to make sure that the slave isn't accosted by the slave catcher.
Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them, and it needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't going to act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns.
That's what he said. You have to go out there and protect the slave. Put your body in harm's way. He also said this, pretty boy.
As time goes on, 1,000.
Oh, wrong one. Sorry. What was the other thing he said? Was that all of them? Yeah, that's only 3 of them. Yes. So all the rest of you, Minneapolis, here in Hartford, wherever you are, you need to protect the slave with weapons, apparently, and follow them everywhere they go. Consuelo, where you headed? What was that? You going down to the supermarket? That's okay. I got you. We're going to follow you down there, all of us, armed to the teeth. Because that won't bring attention to Consuela. Not at all. Hey, did you see Consuela yesterday? Yeah, she seems to have an armed detail. When did she become famous? I could have sworn she was mopping floors at the Marriott. Now she's got bodyguards? How can she afford that? Hey, what am I supposed to say? You know what I find interesting about all this? The Black Panther Party, or as Forrest Gump would say, the Black Panther Party, they're coming out of the woodworks. But I looked it up, and I found something strange, that the Black Panther Party is now out in droves trying to help the slave. I asked this simple question. Was the Black Panther Party out there rallying for George Floyd or Black Lives Matter? And you know what Grok told me? Grok said no. There was no considerable or widespread presence of the Black Panther Party. They weren't there. So they didn't even show up for black people. But now I understand. The Black Panthers are in the slave trade now. Well, you go figure. They are armed to the teeth. Standing, and by the way, this was the other crazy part, right? They were standing around while other people were protesting, throwing things and attacking ICE agents, and these guys didn't budge once. They didn't protect any of them. They didn't stand there holding guard while people were throwing things at them, saying, hey, come on, ICE, throw something at one of these guys so we could pop off. Not one of them. Nope. They were there to show off their fancy guns and to have people take pictures of them while they sat around and posed. Look at me. Look at me. I'm with the Black Panther Party. We just like the ones from the old days. We just a little tougher. We don't take no mess. Because the other Black Panther Party apparently wasn't that aggressive and did take mess. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, we don't take no mess. There is no civil war, folks. If there were, they wouldn't wait for the cameras to arrive. And that's all this is. This is TikTok and Instagram celebrity posing as a revolution. That's all. Everybody goes home and they count all the likes. For them, it's like trick-or-treating for notoriety. How many likes did you get? I got a rock. Old Charlie Brown reference. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
City Hall Adam is a mess. He sent me this.
I got 5 pieces of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
That's what I was thinking about. Sometimes this stuff flows into my head. It just happens. The People's Lobby. I didn't forget about you, buddy. Thank you as always, man, for sharing the content on X as you do everywhere else. Don't forget, you can also share the content with all of your friends. You could go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com or you could go to YouTube. YouTube. Where Reese on the Radio Show. It's at Reese on the Radio Show to listen live. You can opine in the chat room with the Scallywags, or you can go on X and chat there as well. Don't forget, tomorrow we will be live at the Between Rounds, located on Hartford Turnpike in Vernon. Again, Between Rounds, Hartford Turnpike in Vernon, and we'll be there from 2 to 6 doing a whole show there. You come out and be a part of the studio audience. We will have Greg Dillon there, the author of The Thin Blue Lie. He'll be there talking about, of course, his book, talking about the FBI's relationship with local police, even as we see this back and forth with local police officers dealing with federal agents. We'll talk to him about that, giving some insight, of course, about his story, his harrowing book about being an FBI whistleblower when an administration pretty much tried to tear him down. We'll also have Connecticut Food Share that'll be there. They're doing a sort of promotion, a cross-promotion with the folks at Between Rounds. You can purchase a coupon to get a half off a dozen bagels a month for 3 months. And I got the flyer here for those of you who are online checking it out. It's got my face on it. I meant to tell them, maybe I should have got them a Roland, have you seen this? I should have got them a recent picture of me. This is the picture that they used.
That was the funniest thing.
Oh, you saw this?
Ever. Me and Joey were dying laughing.
Why were you dying laughing? Because I don't have a beard.
No, because it just doesn't look like you
at all.
We were dying laughing at that picture.
Well, who did you think it was?
I didn't know who that was. He was like, "Yeah, this is Reese on." I was like, "That ain't no Reese."
Dude, this picture. Can I tell you? You know how old this picture is?
It gotta be minimum 20 years old. Minimum.
100% correct. It was taken in 2004.
Gee.
That is a 20-year-old picture of me. I am nowhere that handsome anymore. Nowhere near. And I saw this, and I said, "Who in the hell posted this picture?" They could have asked me.
Where did they get it from?
It is from an old promo from when I was at WRKO.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yes. Actually, it is. It's actually from two posters. One of these is from Power in New York. Power here in Connecticut. It's from Power here in Connecticut. I took the picture, and it was used at Power here in Connecticut, and then used in New York, and then used at WRKO. So, yeah, that's,
Yikes.
That's it. Yeah, that was me. And I took that picture. That's not even the crazy part. I took that picture with a professional photographer in a hallway in Midtown Manhattan.
Oh, my goodness. I think you look much better older.
So do I. I don't know who. Wait until I show you the picture of me when I was in my 20s. This picture is of me in my 35. Yeah, this picture is of me in 2004. So that would be, goodness, right? I'm 56 now, so 30. Yeah, so 36, right? When this was taken.
Yeah.
35 at least. So I've got another picture of me when I was at least 25. And I do look probably as clean as this, but I had dreadlocks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Everybody says that. I was like, really? Oh, yeah. I had a head of dreadlocks. And I'll never forget, this one is, and everyone tells me to tell this story, at least every girl I've ever dated or any family member I've ever known. They say, Reese, tell the story about 31st Street and 5th Avenue. So here it goes. I was walking down the street, going to my office, and I had my head full of dreads, but I'm 6'3", and a short Jamaican guy, well, a real Jamaican guy, like, with the wrap in the hair, he's got the walk, speaking like thick patois. He looks at me and he goes, "What go on, dread?" I looked him right in the face and I went, "What goes on?" And he looked at me and said, "Bum bum." He was absolutely irate in like the whitest voice I could think of. I just went, "What up?" I thought he was going to kick my behind. He called me Jafakin that day. A Jafakin. But yes, as soon after I cut my hair.
It's crazy that happens because where were dreadlocks originated from? Were they originated from Jamaica?
Absolutely
I don't think so.
No. I think the Vikings did braids far before then.
So
yeah, but he was so angry at me because he thought I was Jamaican. Like he thought I was getting, what up, Dread? I went, what's going on?
You have no idea how many times I got approached to buy some weed.
Oh yeah, exactly. That happened to me.
I'm like, bro, I don't smoke, nor do I sell it. So
that's why you have to be careful with hairdos.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's get to the top of the hour news. John Silva is there. He's in WTIC newsroom. It's Reese on the radio.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
That's right. We're back. Let's get to it. In headlines, Max Naumov, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name correctly because he's right here in Connecticut. He's a U.S. figure skater who lost his parents, former Olympic champions Vadim Naumov and Evgenia Shishkova. They were involved in the January 2025 plane crash that killed 67, including many in the skating community in Washington, D.C., when a helicopter crashed into a commercial airliner. Longtime family friends Vladimir and Elena Petrenko, coaches at the International Skating Center of Connecticut, stepped in to train him starting July of 2025, providing both technical and emotional support to help him qualify for the 2026 Olympics. Naumov finished third at the 2026 U.S. Championships, earning his Olympic spot amid grief, with the Petrenkos treating him like family and prioritizing his well-being beyond skating. The upcoming Olympics in Italy will be emotionally charged, marking resilience in the face of tragedy. This story illustrates the skating community's solidarity and the Petrenkos' role in fostering Naumov's dreams, including future education. And many of you remember that plane crash and how it affected people here in Connecticut. Federal authorities arrested 11 individuals in narcotic trafficking operations centered in Bristol, linked to 6 overdose deaths between April of 2024 and May of 2025. Key figures include Joshua Ocasio, facing charges for fentanyl and cocaine distribution causing death, and Jose Rosado Ortiz, accused of firearm possession and drug trafficking. Searches yielded over $700,000 in cash and jewelry, plus large quantities of cocaine, fentanyl, methamphetamines, and firearms. The ring's activities span central Connecticut, with penalties ranging from mandatory minimums of 5 to 20 years to life imprisonment. This bust disrupts a major source of illicit drugs responsible for fatalities, including a 20-year-old woman's overdose. It signals intensified law enforcement efforts against fentanyl-driven cases, potentially reducing drug availability, but highlighting ongoing challenges in combating organized trafficking and its deadly consequences. You would think they would get the feds involved. In St. Augustine, Florida, a deputy from the St. Johns County's Sheriff's Office responded to reports of a runaway emu. loose in rural areas west of the city last Friday. The large flightless bird,
You're just a flightless bird!
native to Australia and capable of sprinting up to 30 miles per hour. That I did not know. Kicked repeatedly with its powerful talons during the capture attempt before fleeing. After a brief pursuit, the deputy cornered the emu and used a makeshift lasso to secure it. To prevent further escapes or injuries, the deputies handcuffed the emu's legs. Wow. I need to see the video of this. Wow. I have to see this. They handcuffed the emu's legs, neutralizing its dangerous talons, standing over 6 feet tall with soft brown feathers and a long neck. The bird was unharmed throughout the ordeal. No details were provided on how or why the emu escaped from its owners. The emu was safely returned home without any charges filed. Wow, marking a successful and injury-free resolution.
You're just a flightless bird!
But that means nothing, according to that emu. Now for the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Roland, did you see the woman who was dragged out of her car in Minneapolis by ICE officers, that they had to cut her out of her seatbelt? You didn't see that? Okay. All right, you have to see the video because it was everywhere. Of course, after the shooting death of Renee Good, every interaction with ICE officers and protesters has now been deemed some sort of over-exercise by ICE agents. And one particular woman who was stopped by ICE and pulled out her car was the latest martyr, if you will, of ICE's overreach. Well, the woman who claimed that she was driving to her doctor's appointment when she was hauled out of her car by immigration and custom enforcement officers apparently has a history of social justice activism and interactions with police. Aaliyah Rahman, 42, was allegedly blocking ICE agents working to capture illegals in Minneapolis on Tuesday when officers pulled her from her black Ford Fusion as she desperately clung to the driver's side door. You want to know how ICE knew she was an activist? She was driving a Ford Fusion. Come on. Come on. Other cars include Mitsubishi Lancers. Mitsubishi Lancers also. Ford Escorts as well. And also anything with the Mini. Not a nice Mini. We're talking about the Mini. Oh, and Prius. Yes, sir, definitely Prius. She cried out, "I'm disabled. I'm trying to go to the doctor up there," as 4 masked officers dragged her into a federal vehicle. Disturbing photos of her arrest made international news. Rahman, a U.S.-born citizen, is a technologist and social justice trainer who dedicates her time to LGBTQ and racial injustice causes. Her Tech for Social Justice profile read. The Registered Democrat. Now, this is an interesting angle to this, folks. The Registered Democrat says she threw herself into activism work while studying aeronautical engineering at Purdue University after 2 of her cousins were killed in the 9/11 terror attacks. Rahman, who identifies as being genderqueer, was dating a transgender man at the time and claimed that due to the culture in rural Indiana, it was a necessity that she became involved in advocacy work. She is currently based in Minnesota and works as a software engineer manager in a remote capacity for a real estate company based in New Jersey. The ICE incident is not her first run-in with the law. Rahman previously pled guilty to criminal trespassing charges in Ohio and was hit with multiple traffic violations, according to court records obtained by the Daily Mail. That's your stupidest thing I read today. You all thought, look at them. Look at what they're doing. Look what they're doing to that poor woman. She wasn't doing. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I try to tell you folks, they're activists. They're all, look. And this kind of went into my sort of diatribe yesterday. These people are liars. And it's sad because they have to be. To advance a narrative, they have to lie. Because nothing they believe comes naturally. Nothing. They can't leave the truth or use the truth as a guide to their point of view. Now, just hear me out here. Just hear me out. Name one thing. Lefties, liberals, unaffiliated. Name one thing that liberals, leftists, or Democrats believe in that is part of the tenets of their ideology. Tenets, we're talking about like the most important, that are based in facts. That you don't have to manipulate the information to make it true. Yeah, I sort of kicked on Zoran Mamdani a lot about his falsehoods about government-run grocery stores. Right? Now, here's a guy who, on its face, you would say, if you are dim-witted and you don't follow the news, but you got to vote for mayor, so you hear this guy on television on your Sunday show, you're walking around doing the laundry, and you hear this guy on TV with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press, and she says, tell me more about your government-run supermarkets. And then the guy says, well, yes, we're following the model of Kansas City, which is quite successful. Now, you hear that, and again, you don't follow the news. It's not like you're online everywhere and your news feed is filled with that. Your news feed is probably filled with the latest dance trend. Cross, spin, do the kid and Blake stuff. You don't care about that stuff. You probably are on TikTok right now, checking out the new, weird pastry thing, Put in these strawberries and, what's the boysenberry? Oh, pomegranate, got some of that. You don't care about any of that stuff. But you see this charismatic Muslim man who says he's a democratic socialist that everyone's talking about, even some of the people at your spinning class, and you hear him say, this is quite successful, and we should bring it here for the poor. You don't bother to find that out, but you have to ask yourself, was he lying? Yes. Is the Kansas City model that he said was effective and working, is it still open? No, it closed. In fact, it closed a month after he cited it. A month after. There was a news report the same day that he was talking about it. Maybe it was Monday. But the Monday after, he talked about the Kansas City, government-owned grocery store. The Kansas City local Eyeball News, they did a feature on it and said there was nothing on the cabinets. Oh, and I might remember the news reporter started off by saying when you walk into the supermarket, it smelled like a decaying corpse inside. And there was no food. So I ask, why do they have to lie? When Bernie Sanders say that we can have health care for all, we know he's lying. Why does he have to lie? When people say that you can have universal health care in Europe, why can't we have it here? Why isn't it the truth? Why are they lying? We should be able to show that we can have universal health care here in the United States if they can have it in England, and they should be able to cite it. But then when you ask them one simple question, Bernie Sanders, ask him one. Really? We can do that for 350 million people? Bernie Sanders will look and say, well, of course not. Of course not. There are people who can afford their own health care. We're talking about the people who are the most vulnerable. But wait a minute. Why would you use the word universal? It's a turn of phrase. That's what he would say. Again, ask, why is he lying? Why does he have to lie? It doesn't matter to me that their ideas are failures. But the only reason why they lie is because it isn't about what they're proposing. It isn't. They don't care about what they're proposing. Even if they implement any of it, they know it's going to fail and they know it's going to blow up in their face. It doesn't matter. They know some of the most idiot followers are going to say, and it's my favorite line, I don't know how they get away with it, but they do. My favorite line that a bunch of these bozos say to me when I talk to them, they go, well, he tried. It sounds like an enabling mother, but involves policy and people's actual lives. You know, like when dad comes home and says, hey, boy, how'd you do on the spelling bee? I came in 5th place, Dad. 5th place? All of that studying? Mom comes in and goes, don't yell at him, Bob. At least he tried. An enabling mom. That's what these people sound like every time. At least that used to be a big thing with Obama. That was my favorite one. This girl, Nicole, in California, in the debate we were having, she says, well, at least he's talking about it. I said, oh, well, in that case, why am I debating with you? He's talking about it. Does he have any ideas? Well, you have to talk about it first. That's what, again, the objective is to lie. Can I give you an example? I need to give you an example. All of these people who are screaming and hollering about immigration today, every one of them, talking about the heavy-handedness of Donald Trump and ICE officers. As I played for you yesterday, Los Angeles Times wrote an article about a woman who woke up to ICE agents in her house. They didn't even have to knock on the door. There was no, Consuela. No, it was, hey, Consuela, yeah, just wake up, huh? Yeah, hi. Yes, we're room service. Yes, we came to get you and your kids and take you back to Guatemala. Yeah, no, get up. No, grab your stuff. Yep, we got a car waiting outside. Oh, and a plane at LaGuardia. That's all it was. LA Times writes a whole article about it. It's like ICE agents invading people's homes. They were asking about whether or not Obama administration was being too heavy-handed. Oh, and that's not even the crazy part. Do you know what prompted the Trust Act right here in Connecticut? Barack Obama had the government go inside the courthouse computer systems that would tickle, ding, 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 Manuel Consuelo. Ding, 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 ding. Go get him, boys. What, he got pulled over for speeding? Ding, 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 ding. He's going into court on Monday. Ding, 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 ding. Connecticut turned around, didn't say anything for years until the NGOs started to tell certain politicians around here, and you know who you are, hey, you know all that money that we get from the government, you know, all of those grants, you know, sometimes the slush fund runs out. You know what? You're right. This Barack Obama, he's wrong. He's absolutely wrong. We've got to put a stop to this. We're going to push back. We're going to push back. Sorry, Obama, we can't lose elections. We cannot do that. We have to push back. It wasn't like they didn't talk to Obama, but Obama told them, go pound sand.
As time goes on, 1,000 deportations on average a day. People are wondering, and our Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds, that's the question everybody asks. Won't you at least consider unilaterally freezing deportations for the parents of deferred action kids?
Yeah. Here's the problem that I have, Jose, and I've said this consistently.
By the way, did you hear what the question was? To suspend deferred action on the parents of DACA kids. He's asking Barack Obama about separating families. Here's Barack Obama's answer to that question.
Won't you at least consider unilaterally freezing deportations for the parents of deferred action kids?
Yeah. Here's the problem that I have, Jose, and I've said this consistently. My job in the executive branch is supposed to be to carry out the laws that are passed. Congress has said, here's the law when it comes to those who are undocumented, and they allocate a whole bunch of money for enforcement.
When we come back, I'll play the rest for you. This guy was worse than Trump. You folks tiptoed around him. Scared of that boy. It's interesting. We'll be back. Stand by. Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
Let me say the thing that is going to be difficult for others to say. And whether you believe it or not, the moment is coming. Last night, when an ICE officer had to fire his weapon to shoot a man allegedly attacking him with a snow shovel, is what I'd like to believe is the floodgates about to open. What we are witnessing, although it's being ignored, is the assault on ICE agents and the news media pretending it is not happening. That in all of this and the footage that they're actually showing their audience, they are telling them, a cognitive dissonance, if you will, telling them what you are seeing is ICE agitating the crowd, not the crowd attacking ICE. And many of you believe it. Are you dumb? No. Are you stupid? No. You're liars. And liars lie to each other so that they can continue to lie. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the way. I can say it like that. No one believes any of you. Normal people, people of sound mind, they don't pay attention to that. I know people get outraged all over again, but don't bother. But let me say the thing that you're not supposed to say, which is a fact. Just wait and see. And you're all going to be saying, oh, you know what, Reese did call it. I'm not trying to call it. Just telling you it has to happen because everyone's pretending it isn't already. So there are going to be multiple ICE officers who are gravely injured. And it is going to happen live as cameras are rolling. Why? Simple. The news media needs to demonize ICE. They believe it is a wedge issue that they see polling now that's affecting Donald Trump and could very well affect the midterms, which again, if Donald Trump loses the House, loses the Senate, impeachment happens, and that's it, it's all over. They finally get their sacred cow of demonizing, and if not criminalizing, the President of the United States and getting him out of there. They need ICE agents to do it. And they believe that Donald Trump is handing them a gift. Here's the problem. Let me go back a little bit. Yesterday, we were supposed to talk about this on the show, but Roseanne started talking about voting, and we got caught up in that conversation, which was a good conversation. I just saved it for today. There's a memo going around telling people, stop saying abolish ICE. But what are you seeing on television? You see Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey at a podium, people around him holding up signs, abolish ICE. Never once telling the crowd, put that down. Their handlers going, put that down. It can't be on camera. No. Even though they're being told, stop saying abolish ICE. Why? Because it's Defund the Police 2.0. And what did I say last year on this very program about the party and the party leadership? The divide is great. But who's in control? The party. The ne'er-do-wells. The violent constituents. They are in charge. They are the ones who set the tone. So while the memos are going out to the politicians, hey, Chris Murphy, you better not say defund ICE. You better not. Hey, Dick Blumenthal, don't you dare. Go to the rallies, but you better not say abolish ICE. Don't say it. It's a political loser for us. Doesn't matter. The party is 100% behind it, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. You will not see any daylight between Chris Murphy and the Abolish ICE crowd, and you shouldn't. You should keep pushing it. Why? Because as long as they keep telling people, show up, go out there, put your bodies on the line, make sure you videotape them. The rabble-rousers, the people who want to get their licks in, the real animals in that party who really want to get in there and fight ICE. If I were to get my hands on one of those ICE agents, I would bleep them up. You see them online. Those folks, yeah, they are going out there to commit harm. And the Democrat Party is not going to be able to separate itself if ICE agents are gravely injured. And in order for this to calm down, to get guys like Tim Walz and Jacob Fry or whatever that crew his name is, every one of these politicians, the news media, CNN and MS Now alike, the only way these people are going to back up, because they'll be screaming, nope, knock it off, everybody, off the street, is if people see live and direct in a living room near you some ICE agent or several on the ground, harmed badly. The whole thing switches. These people do not know how to tame themselves. They do not know what measured protest is. It is all out anarchy for these folks. And because no one has the guts to step in and tell these rabid dogs to calm down, they are going to do something reckless. And everybody knows that it's going to happen. Don't think they don't. Everybody knows. Anyone with half a brain knows that this excitable thing and getting the poll numbers, and Harry Enton is posting them, yeah, Donald Trump is underwater. Everybody sit up there and goes, it's working. Everybody, it's working. Send more people out there. You have all the folks, the Fords, the Soros. How much more money you need? Don't worry about it. We'll send you millions. Get them out there. In the news media, those lapdogs, they'll be soaking it up. Look at them. It's just a mostly peaceful assault on ICE agents. And you'll all watch it, and what do you think you're going to say after you see it happen? Are you going to say good? You're going to say it's all right? You're going to say fine? They got what's coming to them? The party is out of control because they let the maniacs run it. They still can't tell you what a woman is. They still can't answer if a man can get pregnant. Why? Because it is beyond their own control. All of it. Liberalism, the ideology, progressivism. There is no stated goal. It's run amok. And that's just what's going to happen. When you have one side trying to be measured, worrying about the cameras, making sure that we're doing our job and doing it the right way, making sure that we're keeping people safe, trying to maintain law and order, and you're dealing with an enemy that will go to the wall, if you will, to get their message across. You know what? Let's go this way. I'll go this way. To give you a great analogy of all of this, how do you fight an enemy that will stop at nothing? Stop at nothing to reach their goals. One of the biggest problems people had in Vietnam, in Afghanistan, in Iraq. What did every person who's in the military tell you when they got home? If they were in the stuff. What did they tell you? How can you tell who the enemy was? You can't. A little boy walking by, seeming innocent as ever, bomb strapped to him. Because they stopped at nothing to go after their enemy. But you're the one who's got to follow all the rules of engagement when your enemy has none. And that's what you're dealing with in Minneapolis. People who don't care about the rules, don't care about the rules of engagement. They are there to incite the mayhem that you see. Not the chaos, the madness. That's what it's about. Doesn't matter what they believe, doesn't matter what they think. Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what they know they have a fawning media. You saw that video of the woman who was giving a report, and one of the old Karens walked up to her and says, "Ma'am, who are you with? What news outlet are you with?" We're with CNN. She goes, "Oh, okay," walks away. Why? That's the news media that's allowed to be there because they champion their message. Okay, you're CNN? Okay, you could be here. Imagine if that woman said, "I'm with Fox News." What would have happened? That live shot would have ended immediately. People would have surrounded that anchor. A woman at that. Just like you saw they did to that woman at News Nation. The people who are there, sorry to say it, are there to kill. That's what they have in mind. They want blood. And they mean to get it. And you can't control them, Tim Walz. None of you Democrats control those people who want blood. And they don't even think they're doing it in your name. They're just doing it because either they hate Trump or they just, I don't know, have a lust for it. And law enforcement, for them, that's the target. And you dare try to get in their way. You'll see. And the news media will pretend like it's not anyone's fault. It's not the politicians' fault who never told them to stand down, who never told people to get off the streets. Nope. They'll pretend like Tim Walz just didn't do a live presser, a live public service announcement telling people to get out on the street with your phones. They're not going to act like Jacob Frey didn't tell people that the police are being asked to go up against ICE agents. They'll act like none of that happened. As soon as their blood shed. There we go. We've never meant for this to happen. Never. It was never our intent. Sure. But it's going to happen. Just you wait. Because, trust me, not only do I know it's going to happen, it has to happen because not one of the people who are egging these people on have got the balls to shut them down. They can only give them the red meat that they want. Get out there, folks. Get out there. Fight, push, scratch, scrape. Do whatever you got. They're trying to scare somebody. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Take a call in a second. The reason why I said that is a prior guest on the show, which now I've got to get. I have his number here somewhere. He's been on this show before, but he just made some national news here. The Black Baptist minister, Boise Kimber. You remember him? He's on the program? Yeah. ICE reminds us of the Ku Klux Klan. That's what Boise Kimber said. I'm still trying to make that distinction. I think when you hear stuff like that, what do you think you're telling people to do when you say that? Well, they're the Klan. Right? It was like calling them a Nazi. It's like, I could kill a Klansman, right? He's a Klansman. Right? I can harm them, right? Because that's you equated them to be the most deplorable human being on the face of the earth, right? You call them a Klansman. That means I could do whatever I want to them, right? Because they're not human. Now, he knows that's irresponsible. That's why his dumb ass did it all the way in Jacksonville, Florida. Oh, but they was quick to jump on it over here in Connecticut. Thank you, PBS. I appreciate you. You probably agree with them. Public broadcasting system. Huh? Home of Big Bird. Calling our law enforcement the Klan. You probably celebrate that nonsense. God, I'm so glad you lost your funding. I hope you starve over there. Let's go to Ralph. How we doing, sir?
Hanging in there. A couple of things, actually, a few things. First of all, I do have to say one thing. You married way up beyond your pay range.
You like Roseanne, huh?
She is a pretty sharp lady. She really is. Second thing is what really bugs me is with the F word, and that goes for Donald Trump and the rest of the clowns. I was taught as a young person that you respected people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't use language like that in front of people, especially when you got 5, 6-year-olds hearing it, saying, "Hey, look at that! They use it. I can use it too." Not a problem.
Are you upset about? Are you saying with regards to that Ford plant guy?
Well, you know what? If I was Trump, what I would have done with him, I would have called him up and said, "Show me your proof of what you're accusing me of." And you know what would have happened?
Yeah.
He would have crawled into a hole.
Yeah, you're 100% right. That's exactly what he should have done. He should have stopped there and said, "You have something to say to me, come up here and say it in front of the cameras," which I'd love to. You want to have a debate with me about it, you come and do it right here. And I would have embarrassed him right there. But you know what? You're right. What happens is that they celebrate this guy for his little 5 minutes of fame. And people keep saying, this is the part that I don't understand, right? So the article that's written about him saying, you keep mentioning in the article, his constitutional right to say what he said. I'm just going, he's at work. He does not have the constitutional right to say what he said at his job. He can say it anywhere else, but he doesn't have a constitutional right to do that. He is a representative of his office, and there is no free speech there, just so he understands.
Well, another thing, too, that really bugs me, and it's because the press and Republicans don't push the Democrats and call them out like the idiot and the mayor of Minneapolis. You know what I would have asked him? If any one of those criminals that you're allowing to stay in this city maims or kills or rapes a citizen of this city, will you accept the responsibility? What do you think the answer would have been?
No, I mean, I think they would have deflected as they have been over and over again. They deflect all the time. They're not really held to any account. These guys these guys are donezo as far as their political careers are concerned because
what you got to do, Reese, is ask them again and again and again. You got to hold their feet to the fire and say, "Look, I asked you a question. I'm going to ask you again until I get an answer from you." That, in my mind, is what you have to do. Hold their feet to the fire and make them answer.
They'll just go into hiding as they always do. But thank you nonetheless, Ralph. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's got to be here today, right? Yeah, I didn't hear any memo that he wasn't in. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How we doing, sir?
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I left the camera on and walked out of here and did my, went down to the kitchen and all this. I totally forgot. Anyway, we're back. Reese on the radio. Don't forget tomorrow. That was weird. There we go. Reese on the radio, Roseanne on the radio, live between rounds in Vernon. And I have the exact address, 243 Hartford Turnpike in Vernon. We'll be there. The show will be from 2 to 6. We'll be there a little early. I'll probably be there about noon. And just go hang out, powwow, eat some food, and stuff like that. I've got to get a smoothie. I'm sure that they're still selling smoothies there. That's not a seasonal thing, is it, right? People drink smoothies whenever. All year round, right? Okay. I don't know. Sometimes, you think it's a summer drink. But, I'll be enjoying that. And let me see. Buying bagels and give back. Proceeds benefits, which is involved with Connecticut Food Share. It says, join us during Reese's live broadcast. Guests can purchase half-price bagel certificates, valid for a dozen bagels per month for 3 months, with all proceeds supporting Connecticut's Food Share fight against food insecurity across Connecticut. And again, that is tomorrow, the day after National Bagel Day, which is today. Is there something weird going on with my audio? All of that is weird. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I did something. I don't know. We'll look into it. So help us, help Connecticut Food Share. Be a part of the program with Roseanne and I. We'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff going on in the news. They even got my logo in here. Did you see that? You see how they got my logo in there, Roland? That was actually pretty cool. It's nice to see my logo on a flyer there next to WTIC. That's actually, it's kind of cool. Anyway, so I hope to see you guys out there, and we'll have some fun as well. Nothing in the No, nothing else. Panther Claws, higher. I don't even know what that means. New Panther Thug. I don't know what that's about. Someone's in the chat room talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. Just heard another Republican for Connecticut governor is running. Yes, ex-New York Lieutenant Governor. Yes, that is correct, Music Design. In fact, she will be a guest on this program a week from today, and that is Betsy McCoy, who is an opinion writer. I think she's got a column in the New York Post. She also has a show on Newsmax on Sundays, and she is a Connecticut native. So she is running. She's throwing her hat in the ring. I've got a couple of questions to ask her about her candidacy, and we'll get into that in due course when she gets here. Let's get another check of weather and, more importantly, traffic. Getting you home is our good friend Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the radio. I think this is Frank. Is this Frank?
It is, Frank. How you doing today?
Pretty good, sir. What do you got?
A couple of things. One, yesterday you and Roseanne were 100% right.
Okay.
Our boy Leroy called up. He was upset about White Mike. You can't take that guy seriously. I mean, come on, Leroy, you're smarter. You know who he reminds me of? White Mike.
Who's that? He
reminds me of the guy in Goodfellas, Maury. You know, talking all day, saying stupid things, and nobody pays attention to him. That's exactly who he is. He's Maury and Goodfellas.
White Mike is. Listen to me. He's an intriguing cat in the sense of this, right?
Yeah.
Sure, he knows how to come in and blow up a place. That was always his stick. He could come in and blow up his stuff. He could stink up the room. He knew how to do it. He was kind of Pepe Le Pew in that regard. But he does make me think in the sense of why can't people reason with certain things? Like, I don't like the idea. Like, some of the stuff is just absolutely based in the sense of, like, talk about people's IQ points based upon race and stuff like that. Like, I'm not of the ilk that says I refuse to tell the truth because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I just refuse to look at things on that scale because I want empirical evidence of that aside from just the bluster of creating sort of controversy. So that's the reason why I like when Mike comes in.
I do too. I mean, I like the guy. He's harmless, and people are very soft-skinned, but you can't take the guy.
Also true.
Now, second, when Black Lives Matter and then Antifa, remember the Summer of Love?
Oh, yeah.
When they were I called up the show and I said they're animals. And I'm going to say the same thing about these white people now in Minnesota.
Yes, they are.
It's a disgrace what's going on there. And what are these white women doing? If you're going to send your white daughter to college and she's going to perform stuff like this, go on TikTok and shave her head and tell everybody she's angry. Keep her in the kitchen in the bedroom. Don't save the money.
Wait a minute. He said that after talking about White Mike, ladies and gentlemen. I got to applaud you. It just
something is wrong with these white women in this
country. Can I tell you what it is? It is simple as, and I know exactly where it comes from, okay? It is a miserable existence for a lot of people, and it is self-induced because so many people have infiltrated their lives with the idea that all is lost, right? There is nothing left for you. And the world is turning upside down, and your existence, your existence overall is almost meaningless. Everyone needs meaning in their life. These protests are no different than climate change activists who used to glue themselves to the ground or show up at the Louvre and throw paint on the Mona Lisa. These people need purpose in their lives. And it used to be all they had to do was buy a Prius. And then they found out that wasn't enough. And when your life is boring, you got nothing to do, you will throw yourself at anything.
Right, but Reese, they're being lied to. They're told to go to college, forget about marriage, forget about men, take on the world. 98% of them are going to fail. You know this. I'm sure.
How about this, though? How about this? How about the fact that they revolted against the old school cosmopolitan, image of women? They revolted and said that was unattainable. And so instead, they went in a direction where they have made themselves physically grotesque. They didn't wash. They didn't shave. And they turned into fat, sloppy men. That's exactly what happened. It is what happened. And you want to know why? Because in the beginning, they never thought that they could possibly be, loved, cared about, or had any interest in. So they chose the opposite route. And then as they finally decided this was their self-image, they looked in the mirror and they realized, and it's true, they had to lie to themselves and say that they were against normalcy. They were against traditional beauty, that this can be beautiful too. But deep down inside, as they wake up every morning and look in the mirror, they hate themselves for feeling it. And they know that the other direction, they know that if they do it, if they actually lose the weight, if they actually let their hair grow, if they actually get their hair done, and they start looking pretty and attractive, they've sold out. And selling out, that's the enemy.
I'll tell you what they sold out. The fastest way for a woman to get wealthy is to get married.
They don't believe that. Again,
that's true.
Traditional values. This is almost like the advent of rock and roll, right? When there were people who were saying, look, that stuff's going to get people hurt. People are going to do dangerous things. What did the rebellious ones say? You're a square. Now, before, it just used to be simple enough, but guess what? They had to contend with the new group of kids who then told the old folks, you're a square. And as they kept going on, it was more and more about what could become or what can be socially acceptable that never could be before. They had to keep going down that road and making it, more accessible to be promiscuous, to have children out of wedlock, in some cases abort their children, all of those things, having 4 or 5 kids from different fathers, all of that stuff you could not shame anymore. And that deplorable behavior now is acceptable. And if you go in the other direction, you're demonized with what was considered the cool kids.
Well, let me just tell you this before I go. Most people don't know this. Right now, one of the wealthiest women in America, she wasn't born in America. She never went to college. She never had a job. She's 103 years old. This woman is so wealthy beyond belief. Who is that woman? It's my mother. She has all this wealth in the family until she's gone. Then I get it. These college girls will never have what my mother has.
And they don't.
Never.
And you know what? It's funny because they will look at your grandmother today and say, well, that was great.
Mother, not grandmother, mother.
Your mother. Yeah, they will look at her and they say, well, that was great for her, but times have changed. And, and these kids don't know what they're doing. And guess what? They don't realize it until it's too late.
Well, when we have the next recession and you lose everything because you're a single white woman, because the next recession is going to be worse than 2008, and you're living home with daddy.
Oh no, you know exactly what's going to happen. They will leapfrog over oppressed black women, and they will leapfrog right over her, and they will call themselves the oppressed few. It'll be white women's lives matter. That's exactly what it will be.
All right, but don't take white Mike seriously, Roy. You're smarter than that.
Yeah, Leroy, Leroy's going to be all right. Thank you, man.
He'll be all right. All right.
You got it. It's an insane proposition, but I'm sorry, they just gave up. They did. There were too many standards, too many hurdles, and there were these women out there that were just too pretty and just too traditional, and they hated themselves. They didn't want to compete anymore, so they gave up. And somebody told them, you don't have to conform. You don't have to look like them. You can put piercings through your face, color your hair pink. Hell, shave half of it off. Put on some baggy clothing. Listen to depressing rock music. Yeah, tattered clothing, doesn't matter. There's a whole group of us weirdos just waiting for you. And they did, and they joined them, and then they got older. They stuck around. Sure, they found a couple of guys here and there, who sat at home and drew comic books because they were going to be the next Stan Lee. They're all out there. That tradition stuff, they ran for it. They ran from it, I should say, and ran to the hills. I don't want to be one of those people. Those people are repressive. It's sad, but it's true. That's where they are. That's where they are. Anyway, when we come back, I've got to talk about my Substack article, which a lot of people have checked out. It's called, actually, where the hell is it? I forgot it. Oh, yeah. The Substack article is, they don't care about you, you know. I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm also going to talk about the next Substack. It's going to be this week. I'll tell you a little bit about that. There he is. Leroy's back. I'll take Leroy. I didn't even see you there, buddy.
Hey, man, you guys talking about me like I ain't listening, man.
I know you're listening, Leroy. That's why he called you out there.
Let me tell Frank, I know who he is, too. looking like Andre the Giant. Tell him to shave that hair off his back. He got hair on his back. I bet you 5 inches long. I bet $1,000 he got hair on his back 5 inches long.
You're right.
Him and his father, he got rich robbing black people, selling them that old rotten food.
What? What do you own? Do you own a grocery store?
No, hold on. He couldn't make it in his neighborhood.
What was
so
it?
He had to come to our neighborhood and sell us that junk.
What did he sell?
I know who he is.
No, hold on. What did he sell? Did he have a grocery store?
Yes, him and his father. Didn't you ever hear him say the only color is green?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah. That's what he said. I don't know anything about that. I've never asked. Leroy, you coming out? You coming out tomorrow?
I don't have a car, man.
I know.
If I had a ride, I would definitely be out there.
Well, we need to get together and come hang out soon.
I want to meet your wife and tell her don't be so mean to me for speaking the truth. I spoke the truth yesterday, and if she wants to, let's have a study group and find out what's really the truth. I would be happy to study with anybody.
Well,
I will learn from anyone.
That I appreciate from you, Leroy. I think you're a good guy. Come on. I know you and Roseanne would get
Reese,
along fine if you hung
Reese,
out.
I got one question to ask you.
What's that, buddy?
Has anybody black ever done anything good?
Yes. My mother. She gave birth to me. You're welcome.
I don't know, Reese.
Yo, hold on. Listen. Let me say this to you. This is the honest to God truth, because I get that question a lot, especially from older black men. Some younger, but mostly older black men. And I'll tell you what the problem is that when I talk about black men that I respect, you guys are never listening. So you got to turn me down a little bit in the background.
I have never heard you.
Okay, I know that's the point. See, you said you never heard. So let me give you.
I listen to you every day.
Okay, good. Let me give you an opportunity. What's my opinion on Thomas Sowell? You got to turn my volume down in the background because I can hear myself.
Say that again now.
Okay, what is my position on the economist named Thomas Sowell?
I don't even know who that is.
There you go. I talk about him. Yes, I have. I talk about him all the time. Thomas Sowell is one of my mentors. Second guy, Walter Williams, another guy who I love and adore. Shelby Steele, another man who I love and adore. I talk about his documentary here all the time. What Killed Michael Brown? So those are three prominent African-American men. I talk about Malcolm X. Hold on. I play Malcolm X clips here because I love Malcolm X. I play him all the time. I'm a huge follower of Malcolm X.
Wow. I listened to your monologue yesterday, and all the things you said made me think of you.
Well, everything that I said was absolutely true. I don't lie for white men. I don't lie. I don't lie for white men. And a lot of black people inside the inner city lie for white men.
Please, can I say something?
Of course.
I have never heard you say anything bad about a white person.
Really? That's funny.
Never.
That's okay. Never. That's interesting because Chris Murphy, last I checked.
Donald Trump with his woman.
Hold on. Donald Trump is one guy. Is Chris Murphy white? Or did he become black overnight?
But you hate him too.
No. Chris Murphy's as white as they come. I mean, you couldn't get more milk toast. And you know that. Do I talk about the Clintons all day, every day? Both of those people tried to have me fired and killed. I talk about them white folks every day. And those are some powerful white people. You ever hear me say something great about those white folks?
All right. You win, Reese. But I had to get back at Frank. And then you talk about I'm Pepe Le Pew.
No, I said no. I said that Mike is like Pepe Le Pew. He comes in and he'll stink up the place.
Oh, okay. Hey, man. Frank, no hard feelings, man. I still love you, but you've been robbing black people too long talking about your gold that you done stole.
He stole his gold, huh?
He stole the money from us, overcharging us for that junk that he was selling.
Let me tell you this. This is what I always say. Listen, shame on him, but you know what? You can always shop elsewhere. You know that.
No, when him and his father was doing what they were doing, there wasn't no options for that.
Ah, okay. Well, like I said, I know the full.
I'm 68. I've seen a lot.
I believe you. I can't wait to meet you, Leroy. Without a doubt, dude. I can't wait to meet you. Let me get out of here.
I picture every day.
You got well. Thank you.
I don't want to walk by you when I see you.
Much appreciated. I got to get out of here. Thank you, thank you, Leroy.
Tell Polly Purebred that I love her.
You got it. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Even when they hate me, they love me. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
So in the event that you don't know, I write a Substack every week. Every week, the Substack is about something that's happening locally. And if not, it's something national, but very rarely is it something that's sort of like in a national sphere. So I like to keep it sort of local. But you can download, or I should say download, you can actually go to my website, reeseontheradio.com, and you can subscribe so that you can be alerted when it comes in. It's a great Sunday read. It's roughly about, I don't know, I try to keep it in and around 1,200 words. So it's a quick read on whatever, my point of view is on whatever that is. And it's just something to enjoy. It appears that people enjoy it, and they have been checking it out, and I want to thank all of you for doing that. So I will keep it up. And it's fun for me to do. I like doing it. It's like Saturday night, the week is wrapped up, and I sort of want to come into the week with, whatever that subject is. I'll probably talk a little bit about this Minnesota and the riot stuff as well, but there may be some other topics that I want to get into. That was interesting with Leroy. The whole you don't say anything, or I never hear you say anything good about black people. And there's a way to answer that outside of having to reveal to him that, one, I know you're not paying attention, but two, the people who I do praise or I celebrate, I never celebrate them for their color. So it's hard for you to tell. I am not working on the lens of their skin color. I don't have to. That's something for others to do. And the people that I appreciate, or I, sort of follow in the sense of what they write or what they say or the things that inspire me, are because they are inspiring. I've never once, and this may be naive on my part. Some people might say no. In fact, a lot of people might say no. But this may be naive on my part. I've never once wanted to read a book because that person may share something with me that I can identify with. Like, I am not searching guys who wrote books who were homeless because I was homeless. I do not look for people who've written books who come from a single-parent household with 4 siblings because I'm from that background. Never once have I cared about that. It's like, the subject matter interesting? Is it helpful? Is it a philosophy or a thought process that I have not considered, and I want to hear what their thesis is? That is usually it. And I go to Milton Friedman saying something that not just made me laugh, but was a great answer to a lot of people who think you must identify with something in order to learn something from it. And Milton Friedman, you can probably find it online, but he's giving a speech, a lecture to these college students. And the college students know everything about poverty. What about this? What about this? What about that? What about this? And Milton Friedman's saying, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. And one kid says, what do you know? You ever been to the hood? And his response was, that's like saying I can't get cancer treatment from a doctor unless he's had cancer. To which the crowd erupted in laughter. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark?
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
There he is right now, ready to stink up the room. White Mike is in the house. What's going on, Big A?
Oh, man. So just another wonderful day in corporate America. Dude, working for a corporation is it's absolute torture. I'd rather stick chopsticks in my eyeballs and do some of this crap, but sometimes you got to grab the shovel and start eating that doo-doo, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Pay the bills. Man,
it can be tough. It can be tough, and I know exactly what you mean. I dealt with a small ordeal just a couple of days ago. That it wasn't just corporate, but it was sort of like in the realm of having to do things a certain way and not being direct. When I was on my own and I was solo, things I did my way, I just did my way. You know what I mean? It's like then when you have to go deal with the corporate structure to kind of have some hurdles that are going to it. So I totally get what you mean.
They're literally sending me to a 2-day conference to learn how to talk to people.
No. Now, wait.
Yeah,
now, is this self-induced?
No, this is corporate. It's a communications meeting. I have to go learn how to sell dentistry to patients like I haven't sold 50 million in my life. But anyway, so this Minnesota thing's crazy.
Okay.
I think President Trump it's about time to invoke the Insurrection Act.
I don't think there's a doubt in his mind that he does too.
It is time to arrest Tim Walz and Keith Ellison for inciting riots.
Indeed.
It's time to start yanking media members out of their desks and slapping cuffs on them for inciting riots.
Also true.
Time to go after MS Now. Any of these people who said ICE are murderers and killed that woman and lied about the cop need to be handcuffed and brought up on slander charges.
Indeed. With all of the evidence that is there, you're 100% right.
It is time to take off the kid gloves. We need to arrest that stupid mayor in Boston, that communist. We need to arrest Zohan Mandani. We need to start putting people in jail. If the Democrats are going to play rough like they did, I'm tired of this pea-footing around. I want heads on stakes.
As I was saying earlier, and I know you probably just joined, I was saying that, look, there is only one outcome for the rabid dogs that are running through Minnesota right now, and what they want is blood. And these people, from Tim Walz to Jacob Frey to, as you said, MS Now, I mentioned them earlier, CNN as well. These people are going to be responsible for us to watch live in our living rooms ICE agents being seriously wounded, if not fatally killed. And then...
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that after that, it's going to be over.
This mayor, Jacob Frey.
Yeah.
Frey, not Frey.
It is Frey. You're right.
He purposely doesn't turn in profile ever. You watch him. He always looks straight ahead. He's trying to portray himself one way, but when he turns to the side, we know what's up. It's evident. A lot of these people, they are calling white people. I'm getting tagged with this. All these white women. A lot of these white women ain't white. Let's be real. They're not white.
Well, what are they?
They're not white. They're Jews.
You think they're Jewish women?
There are a lot of Jews in this stuff, dude. Antifa's rotten with Jews. Always has been, because it's a communist organization. And communism is a Jewish organization. Always been.
Wait. Hold on. I know that there are Antifa members that are obviously, we're talking about the nighttime events. I'm talking about these single white women who, well, I don't know if they're single. They could be. But the women who you're seeing in the daytime hours, screaming, shoot me in the face.
Yes, but behind the scenes, there are a lot of people who don't eat bacon. A lot who don't eat bacon, okay?
Okay, you're talking about the puppet masters here.
Yes, we all know if you want to get ridiculous, Antifa started in Europe in the 1920s. It's a communist organization.
Yes, without a doubt.
Because the only people who bitch about fascism rounded up in
Do we
Nazi
have to buzz
Germany
them?
were Jews. They were communist Jews. Communism is Jewish.
Be careful with
be
careful with the B word. We're not allowed to use that on the air. Okay.
But you cannot deny that communism is Jewish. Everybody involved in communism was Jewish. Engels was Jewish. Marx was Jewish. They're all Jewish. It's a Jewish.
Yeah, but weren't they? But wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not going. I want to stay in the right direction here.
Yeah.
What I'm saying here is, usually, in order to be a Marxist, as Marx was, he was anti-religion, right?
Judaism is not a religion; it's a race.
Well, exactly, a race. But he was anti-God, if you will, so to speak, right? I mean, that's what most of these guys are. Generally, they don't believe in a higher power. Hitler was the same. Did not believe in a higher power because, in essence, they believed in self-reliance, I guess, or anything. But here's my point. That may be indeed true as far as financing a lot of this nonsense. But the people who are on the ground, or the boots on the ground, these are just regular anarchists of all walks of life, Mike. We know that to be true. We know Asian kids are involved, white kids are involved, very, very few black kids. I know that for a fact. But usually these are run-of-the-mill white kids from the suburbs. None of these kids come from any sort of storied ruffian background. That's a fact. Where did he go? Did I lose him? Okay, for some other reason I lost him. Well, he was there.
Sorry, I was on mute, dude. I'm here.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, no problem. Yeah, so
it's all the same thing over and over, man. I mean, I know it's unpopular, and everybody wants to say not all.
I understand that, but
when there are finances and puppet masters,
yes,
that's same people behind BLM. We know who runs BLM.
Yes, without a doubt.
Former communist too.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
This whole thing, what I'm saying is, everybody's saying it's white people. Oh, look at these white women, and some of the white women are cannon fodder, but not the ones running things and developing policy.
Yes, those people, again, and that's where I know, and it's the crazy part about it is that Donald Trump is going to run into, I guess, sort of a buzzsaw with the news media, because that's going to be their defense when he starts going after the guys who are responsible for this funding. And he's made it very clear. Yeah. He made one proclamation saying, we know who these people are. He mentioned George Soros, and I forget who the other guy was that he mentioned real quick, but his name is escaping me. But he mentioned them once, and then we never heard from them again as far as Donald Trump going after him.
So what it's going to have to be, they're going to say, we don't run everything, and if you say so, we're going to ruin you.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. So, and I get your point of saying, we're not stating the obvious. However, my point today was the fact that the people who are out there on the ground are a bunch of rabid dogs with absolutely no organization.
Sure. Well, these are white women who don't have any object for love in their life because they don't have children.
Right.
So they're turning to these minorities in a maternalistic sense to save them and mother them. That's all this is.
Absolutely.
It's misplaced mothering.
Even though they'll never ever see these folks, they'll never house them, they'll never feed them. They have this sort of distance that they put on themselves and feeling good about themselves when they pat themselves on the back and they get cheered on online. That's primarily what that's about.
It's maternalistic. Mm-hmm. They look at these people as lesser than children who need to be protected. It's maternalistic.
Yeah.
That's the basic thing with leftist women is everybody's a child to them.
Yes.
And they're better than everybody because they're mom.
Yes.
So it's not just white women. There's a conspiracy here. When it gets revealed, people are going to plot.
Okay? Do you believe my theory? Do you believe my theory that this, because of the rabid dogs who have no organization and their puppet masters have no control of them, that this is going to turn to considerable bloodshed, at least the bloodshed of ICE agents?
I think you're going to see a lot of dead, blue-haired fat women. A lot of them. I think that Trump is not going to play with these people anymore. We're done. Tom Homan, he's falling apart. We've had $100 billion in estimated fraud. And now Trump just tweeted out that there are entire stores in Minneapolis who are based on food stamps who have no inventory and do no business.
Damn. I didn't even see that one. I haven't even checked that. Yeah. I haven't even checked. Is that on Truth Social?
Yeah, it's his latest truth.
Okay.
So it's coming. The hammer's coming down, and I think that we're looking at the reset. And before I go, I want to normalize saying this is like 1920s Germany. Somebody says, how? You say, man, look at all the communists and the transgenders and the government's out of control, the media lies. It's like 1920s Germany. And watch them scramble.
Watch them scramble is a good point. Thank you, buddy. As usual.
All right.
Told you. What did I say? I told you he was going to stink up the place. As he does. As he does. God bless him. Joe and Lisa in the Southern Command in the United States of Georgia. We still worry about you and Roseanne. Well, thank you. I love you both, Joe and Lisa. Thank you so much for caring about us. We're going to be as safe as we possibly can. White Mike, hate corporate, try private equity. Craig in the car says. I should have told him that, but he's listening. He's definitely listening. Let me see. Okay, my wife is sending me messages as well. Okay, so when we come back, of course, we will talk a little bit more about this audio with Barack Obama, him talking to MSNBC about immigration. As Mike said, they didn't care about this. They never have. They never will. But I just read something a little while ago. Somebody just sent something to me that I need to read. That sort of breaks down this whole deal with why the illegals are being used, again, by the left as a means to go after ICE agents. So I'm going to read it, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you what that's about. On Monday is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. I'm almost certain that that's a fact, right? Right? Do I have to double check that? But I'm almost certain it is. And there will be a lot of talk everywhere and on this station about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I know. I understand. Reese on the radio will be talking about him as well. There's a new report that just came out about some documents that are going to be released next year. And we have a preview of what that release is going to be. Turns out that this release has been held up for a lot of years. And the reason why it's been held up is because it puts Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in a very, very unfavorable light. And it will create shockwaves. They've been holding off on this. In fact, there may even be a delay next year to even releasing it. But we'll talk about it on Monday. Because a lot of people know it's out there, and they know it to be true, and it's dirty. It's one of the sagas in our lives where there are no good guys here. And that's a horrible thing to have to admit, that everyone involved in that saga, from J. Edgar Hoover to John and Bobby Kennedy and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., every one of those individuals were bad people. And that's when you hear that, and those of you who probably remember, you're old enough to remember the assassination of all three of those men. I know that you're saying, like, what? Like, really, Reese? Why would you tarnish their image now? Well, I got to put it this way. You didn't really have that problem when you went after Christopher Columbus or Andrew Jackson or, I don't know, any other statue that was up. I mean, you didn't have a problem with dragging up their old skeletons as a reason to take down their statues. You didn't care. Their roles in history meant nothing. The folklore, meaningless. We need to tell the truth, you told us. And the truth is that these men are evil. George Washington had slaves, even though he freed them. Nope. Tear them down. Andrew Jackson, tear them down. Christopher Columbus, nope. He spread disease in 1492. Tear them down. Okay. And you know how I feel. If you set the table, you have to eat from it too. You know, you guys are running around saying, nope, I'll set the table. I'll set the table. I'm going to set the standards. Well, now you got to eat there too. And dinner has been served. So expect on Monday, you are going to hear a story that you probably haven't heard before. But we have all of the dirty details to the story. And they're not nice. They are not. So, sorry I have to do it to you. Craig said, don't leave out Jesse Jackson. I promise you, I will not forget Messy Jesse. I will not forget him at all. Oh, Messy Jesse Jackson. He was the best. Oh, boy. They're going to celebrate him, too. I know. They're going to treat him like, nope. He did not say those horrible words about New York. I know. That's okay. We'll be back. More news, more views. We'll wrap this puppy up. Let's get to Mark Christopher. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, it's time for music news. I know you people forgot all about it, but not me. Do you know today in 1965, it was the release of the first single by The Who, I Can't Explain. That's right, in 1965. And it peaked at number 8 in the UK, which, of course, started their legendary career. 1977, the Eagles' iconic album, Hotel California. It was my first real introduction to a long-form rock song. And I wasn't introduced to that song until about 1984, I want to say it was. Maybe even 83 was when I really, really heard that song for the first time. That's right. Reached number 1 in the Billboard 200. And, of course, a band that I love still to this day. I still listen to this particular album, the album Down Under, which began a 4-week, Land Down Under was the song, I apologize, it started its 4-week run at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. And there are so many songs in there. It's Land Down Under, Who Could It Be Now? And, of course, Overkill, which is still my favorite record by Men at Work. And there's even a movie. I know didn't you tell me that you saw that movie, Men at Work, with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez? That wasn't you? Maybe it was Joey. It may have been Joey. But that's actually 3 of my favorite, 2 of my favorite. One of my favorite movies, and definitely one of my favorite groups back in the day. So, and with that, there's also some notable births you might want to recognize today. Let me see. Pitbull's birthday is today, born in 1981. Goodness gracious, I'm so old. He was born in 81. Goodness gracious. Ronnie Van Zant, born in 1948. Yeah, and that's about it. Oh, notable deaths. Dolores O'Riordan. Is it Riordan? O'Riordan of the group The Cranberries. She died on this day back in 2018. That shocked me when she passed away. I wasn't even a real big Cranberries a fan, but when she passed away, I was like, what? I kind of feel like I hear her all the time. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. I'm not going to lie. He looks good for a guy 11 years younger than me.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
He's coming to Hartford.
That's right. When is he here?
He's going to be here on August 28th at the Meadows Music Theater.
Oh, the Meadows. Really? He seems like a People's Bank Arena kind of guy.
Nope, he's coming in the summer, baby. And then the next night he's at the Xfinity Center up in Mansfield, Mass., which is
that makes sense.
Near Foxborough. So
yeah.
Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305 in Hartford, August 28th. That's going to be a big old party.
Lines out the door.
Yeah, and pre-sale, you got to sign up to get pre-sale tickets, and if there's any left, they'll be available to the general public if there was any
luck.
left after the pre-sale. They might as well just do the pre-sale now because you don't get tickets after the pre-sale.
Exactly, nobody does.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen anymore.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Turns out we actually just learned that Border Commander Greg Bovino is confirming that Minneapolis police received a stand-down order, leaving federal agents to face the protesters and the attackers alone. And like I said, the obvious is going to happen with this. And you can only expect the worst. Why Mike thinks it's going to be protesters that get shot that are going to get harmed, I don't know. I just don't see it that way. I don't know how it possibly could. So, anyway, we'll see. Hey, here's somebody we haven't heard from in a while. Mr. Simsbury Joe is in the house. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
All right. We're doing better?
We're getting there.
All right. That's good to know.
Recovery.
That's great.
But,
we've missed you here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. So I just saw on the news Jacob Fry is now telling people that if you're going to be violent, stay away. You need to be peaceful. So he's obviously a little concerned about what might be coming here. But I wanted to talk about a video that I saw on X. I think I sent it to you.
Okay.
If I didn't, I apologize.
That's okay.
I think this video answers so many questions, not just about what's going on with ICE in Minnesota, but what goes on in the state of Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And what this video was, and it's very similar to some things that I've tried to articulate in the past. It shows a woman in a Mustang who looks like any West Hartford, Simsbury, Avon mom,
mm-hmm.
and she's interfering with ICE doing their job. And then she leaves, and ICE has a news crew in their vehicle, and they pursue her. And the video shows her driving in and out of traffic with her little flashy little Mustang, until they finally catch up with her.
Yes.
And they catch up with her, and the ICE agent goes over to the passenger side of her vehicle and says, this is what you did. We are presenting your information to the prosecutor for possible prosecution. And what does she do? And I'm telling you, she looks like...
Oh, I've seen the video. I've seen it. I'm just letting you describe it. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay. And she's like, I'm just a mom. And she's crying and she's shaking. I'm just a mom. And I looked at that, and I just thought that was so illustrative of what goes on. Because what happens is we have all these middle class to upper middle class or maybe wealthy women. She had no business interfering with ICE. And when it came down to it, she starts crying and shaking out of pure fear. I don't think she was faking it. She was afraid because these people, and this is where I've tried to articulate it in the past, is that they come out with this stupidity that they support. They vote in the way that is detrimental to their own families.
Mm-hmm.
They do all kinds of other things which, how dare you challenge them? They're going to cancel you.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is that this woman, to me, just showed they're all alike. It's all a game to them. They're all pathetic until it actually hits home. And that's where, and I'm not going to say Civil War, right now, but in years past, there are, people who said, well, Joe's talked about Civil War. If there was a Civil War, they would flip so fast it would make your head spin.
I will tell you this.
They don't want to be on that side, but they'll do it. And she showed exactly that. I'm not even going to think about it until, now I got caught. Oh, my God, my life is collapsing. And that's what I'm trying to get across to any liberal women that are listening now, is your ignorance has gotten in the way of your common sense. And I'm not saying you're stupid. You're probably highly intelligent, but you're ignorant.
I will tell you that there is a degree, and I watched that video 3 days ago, and I was showing it to Roseanne. And Joe, I got a lot of what you said. I agree with what happened, but I'm going to throw another one at you, and I want you to give me your feedback. I don't think either of us are right or wrong in what we can convey, like what we saw in the video, because we don't know what's going on through her mind. But I want to give you my interpretation of the same video. So when she initially begins interacting, or at least at the beginning of the video, she's out of her car flipping them the bird, right? Yeah. And they are behind her, and she's out of her driver's side vehicle, and she's talking all the smack in the world. But mind you, she's stopping in the middle of traffic, in the middle of the street, and she is doing this, making these proclamations and exclamations towards the ICE officers. Then she gets in her car and speeds off. Now, mind you, when she does the thing, flipping them off and doing the whole 9 yards, she is defiant. She is unafraid, or at least gives the impression that, her stuff don't stink. What are you going to do? Kind of, the classic Karen thing. But when she speeds off, she runs red lights, right? She's running red lights when she realizes that ICE is following her. And then other ICE agents are also in pursuit. And when they get there, she starts crying. And this is what I got from that. When they pursue her and the officer gets out of the car and starts telling her, give me your license. I'm going to forward your information for criminal prosecution. She starts laying that stuff down. And then she immediately starts crying. And I agree with you. I believe that she was absolutely sincere in her fear when that ICE agent comes to her. And, of course, she's surrounded by big trucks with men with guns. I believe that she was 100% fearful. But let me tell you why I know she was fearful. Because she didn't have other people around her putting batteries on her back. That's why. Yep. She didn't have the mob egging her on, giving her a sense of security. When she had to be there in front of those people and she saw how serious it was and she was alone and she thought that she might be hauled in and she may have to explain this to, if not her children, her husband, or anyone else in her family, that she had actually gotten a little ahead of her skis and bitten off more than she could chew, every euphemism you could think of, that in that moment she was like, holy crap, what did I do? I just want to go home. I just want to go home. And I'm sure she will keep her behind at home from now on.
Did you happen to catch, and I'm not encouraging people to watch The Five, I'm encouraging people to listen to Reese on the radio, WTIC, but did you happen to catch the Greg Gutfeld clip of him explaining, and I know I would...
It had to be Monday, right? The Monday was when he went on that tear about these women who have no one telling them to knock it off.
That is exactly the one. And I thought that was also incredible because everyone's afraid to tell people, knock it off. I can think of many situations in Connecticut where people should have been told, knock it off. But the way he articulated it within the family or within friendships,
right,
and saying, would you... And I'll let you explain. I think you'll do a better job. But basically what for me was important from that was if someone had had a conversation with Miss Good before, or any of these people who are going out and doing this, would they have actually had that conversation with them
exactly.
and laid out for them? Or would they have played the same game that they played to the public and, encourage them? And I think that they would have had the conversation.
Yeah.
Which, again, shows what I've always felt. These people are pathetic, and they're hypocrites, and when things start going bad, they're going to be on our side faster than we can even say their names.
It's true. I believe that if Roseanne had come to me and said, hey, I'm going out to see if I can stop ICE from collecting, illegals or migrants from their homes, the first thing I would have said was, you're going to keep your behind right here. And if you want to argue with me about it, you can do that today, but you will not be arguing with ICE on the street. You can argue with me right here in the house. And guess what? You can throw anything you want. You can throw a rampage. You can talk about how awful it is that the people are being rounded up, but you will not be doing it in front of some federal agent. It won't be happening on my watch.
Well, the way that Gutfeld explained it, using her as the very specific example, was because people are probably wondering, what are these guys talking about? The conversation would have gone something like, what about your child?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to put your child in daycare while you go do this? Oh, you don't have a job?
Yeah.
How come you're not looking for a job?
Exactly.
Why aren't you taking a class to try to, better yourself so you can actually find a job? Oh, you are taking a class. You're taking a class on how to interfere with federal agents. It's just, it's nuts. We see it in Hartford with the people that go out and do the protesting. We see it much more out in Minnesota, but it's just I
think that all of this is
very wrong with these people.
It is nothing more than an opportunity to get likes and consideration from their online social media friends. That's exactly what it is. That's all it is.
Until it becomes real.
Yeah, exactly. As it did for that woman in the Mustang. Thank you, Joe. As always, welcome back.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you.
Let's get to, is this Jerry? Let's go to Jerry, who's calling from Columbia. How are you, Jerry?
Hey, how you doing, Reese?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to say that I absolutely agree 100% with what you and the gentleman that you were talking to. When you have a group of people that are standing around, you know this, and everybody's like, oh, you feel safe when you're standing there with your group of people. But when push comes to shove and you're all by yourself,
yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Well, that's the deal. Like, we say in the hood, like, we know when somebody gets all amped up, we say somebody put a battery in their back. You get the idea. So when you're there, all of your friends are egging you on. It's sort of like the instigator. You say, hey, you hear what he said about your mama? So, you know, so once you hear that, all of a sudden the guy goes, oh yeah, what'd you say about my mama? So the guy's going, yeah, go get him. And then, sure enough, the guy beats it. You get beat up, and you come out and you say, "Hey, man, why did you help me?" He's like, "He ain't talking about my mama."
I felt so bad when I called you last week because this guy got in my face and he didn't expect me to turn around and give it back at him, and I did, and I was wound real tight, and I went, "Oh, I gotta call Reese." And I went, "Oh man, I feel so bad." But then I heard you get wound up the next day, and I went, "No, I don't feel so bad now."
Yeah, there you go, buddy. There you go. Thank you, Jeff.
But I love your show. Keep doing what you're doing. I listen to you every single day, brother. You take care of yourself, and
thank you. We got you. We'll see you soon, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Take care.
You got it. Yeah, man. These ladies, of course, they got batteries on their back. Did you see the two women? It's like that famous one that was on Fox. So one video they keep showing of the two women. One's wearing a black bubble jacket. The other woman is wearing like a tan, like sort of camel-colored jacket. The one in the camel-colored jacket is banging on her kid's drum. I keep thinking of that. Did you ever see that movie, Step Brothers? Yeah. I keep saying to myself when she's banging on a drum, I'm going, there's a kid at home going, where's my drum? I know it. I know there's a kid at home going, where the hell is my drum? Ma, you see my drum? Yes, we were protesting today. But the two women who are out there shouting, they're literally side by side. You know, egging each other on. You know, you say this, you say that. Yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to shoot me? And remember that, folks. It's all you need to know. All you need to know. The shooting of Renee Good is being spread through the country with an ideology that says, see, these ICE agents will kill you. They won't even think twice. And the reaction of the people of Minnesota is, hey, let's go out there and do it again. Can you imagine if you had ran through a neighborhood and you got robbed and beaten, and your friend turned around and said, screw those guys. We're going to walk through that neighborhood again. And this time we'll have even more jewelry on. If ICE was a threat, would they still be there? No. That's all you have to think about. Did you think about any other facet of their life? What would they be doing? They'd steer clear, right? Obvious. So, with that, let's get to weather and traffic. Mark Christopher. He is in our BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How are we doing out there, sir?
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
Always remember to go to WTIC.com, download the Odyssey app. You can also get us at iHeart. Streaming is important for the show because if you don't get to hear it live, you can always go there and check out the show. You can do it when you're doing laundry, maybe making dinner for the kids, you know, whatever you're doing. And you can stream anywhere, on any device, on anything. Just make sure you stream. Also, don't forget, tomorrow we are live at Between Rounds Why is that? There it is. That's a weird thing going on. There you go. We are live at Between Rounds in Vernon on Hartford Turnpike. Myself, Roseanne, Greg Dillon, Connecticut Food Share will be there. And you can, let me grab the little flyer here. They have a flyer of me from 20 years ago. 22 to be exact. Buy bagels, give back. Proceeds benefit Connecticut Food Share. Join us as we broadcast Reese on the Radio live. Guests can purchase half-price bagel certificates valid for a dozen bagels per month for 3 months, with all proceeds supporting Connecticut Food Share's fight against food insecurity across Connecticut. This is, of course, brought to you by Connecticut Food Share, Odyssey, Reese on the Radio, and WTIC News Talk 1080. So we'll be there all day tomorrow. We are excited to be there. Roseanne is excited to be there. We'll be dolled up, and I hope that you will come be a part of our studio audience. You know, it's an important cause because we try to do as much charity as we can. Melody asks, a little late to the broadcast, wondering if you heard A.G. Tong on Brian's show this morning, the last 10 minutes. I did not, and Brian and I crossed paths this morning. He was leaving as I was coming in, and he said to me, no, I said, hey, what did you have going on today? And he said, oh, we have William Tong on. And I went, oh. Which is my bad, because I don't know if he was here live? I don't know if he was here live, because I should have been up on that. But if he was here, I dropped the ball. I did. Bad guy. Bad guy. But I didn't hear Melody, but I will be checking it out, because Brian did say this when he left. He goes, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of fodder there. And I went, okay. So I meant to check it, but I got some other stuff that I was doing. So I didn't get a chance to bring it up. I should. I'll listen to it tonight. Maybe we'll mention it tomorrow. And all the stuff that we've got going on there. So stand by for that. Let me see. Zap says, streaming today from Sun City, Arizona, sending warm vibes. Zap. Hey, listen, let me ask you something, Zap. Do they know that Sun City has a very, checkered past, just the name back in the day? Wasn't it? There was a whole a collaboration on that. Sun City. It was a Bruce Springsteen, Nona Hendrix, because a whole bunch of rockers had a song called I Ain't Gonna Play Sun City. That's what it was. I'm almost certain that was it. I remember that music video vividly. It was against apartheid. Something like that. Anyway, let's take another break. Let's get some traffic and weather. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Mark, I know you remember that song, right?
Yeah, it was. You're exactly right. It was an anti-apartheid song.
Right.
And the group was Sun City.
Yeah, Ain't Gonna Play Sun City was the chorus.
I don't.
Something you can't find it.
Yeah.
It was a popular song.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
It was popular, but only in the sense of there was so much star power in it. Because as a kid, I didn't know what they were talking about. I just know Bruce. I'm like, hey, that's Bruce Springsteen. Hey, that's Nona Hendrix. I'm like, I knew everybody who was in the darn thing.
Is it Not So Far Away?
No, not. No. I always thought the song was that I Ain't Gonna Play Sun City. I gotta look it up now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I'm not having any
It was
luck.
a big music video.
Yeah.
And it was in the theme of, and I'm almost certain this is after the We Are the World thing. Because that kind of became sort of an effort to sort of bring attention to things. There were these sort of large collabs with all of these famous artists.
Yeah, it's called Sun City. That's the name of the song.
That is the name of the song. What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're almost out of here and ready to go. And tomorrow should be a fun show. I always like remotes. They were a little weird in the beginning. I remember the first time I ever did a remote was way back in 2003 or so, something like that. I did a remote at Planet Hollywood, and it was just weird. Because you get used to being someplace, and now I'm getting used to being in the studio. So going out to do, something out, I've never done a studio audience kind of bit. It's fun to do, but it's not. And it's the headsets. That's what it is. The headsets are weird. That's, right around you and it's wrapped. It's just weird. It just is. But I'm excited to do it because I get to hang out with so many of you. Get the face with the name or the voice or whatever it is, and a lot of you guys, and of course all the regulars who come back, that kind of stuff. That's always great. Anyway, let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Dave. He's in Bristol. How are we doing again today?
Hey, doing good, Reese. Good to talk to you again. Should I go back to the emu?
Do you really need to go back to the emu?
You're just a flightless bird.
What do you got?
You remind me of a great show. I'm sure you're going to like it if you watch it. It's called Animal Control.
In fact, one of my favorite, I do like Joel McHale. I'm kind of a fan of Joel McHale. And I heard that, the show is actually, I heard it's pretty good. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you got to watch it, man. It is funny beyond funny. And that's all I got to say. I just, you came up with the emu story, and there's a scene with a kangaroo that's just like, almost exactly what you said with the
Oh, is it? So life's imitating art, so to speak.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, I will definitely check it out. I know that it's at least going on its second season now, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's Netflix, if I remember correctly.
I have Hulu. I think it's on there. I'm almost certain. Yeah, I should be able to get on Hulu because I know it's a Fox show. So I'll check it out. I do like Joel McHale. I loved him back in the Talk Soup days.
It's a real smart kind of show too. I mean, a lot of good back and forth.
Okay, I like dialogue comedy. I do that, and no laugh tracks.
Me too. You're gonna like it. I tell you.
You got it, buddy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, sir.
Bye.
All right, let's go to Teresa. Hello, Teresa.
Hello, Reese. How are you?
What's going on?
I'm good, thanks. I was just calling just to say hi, and also I wanted to say something to you about the you were talking earlier about the white women and the kids in school, and there's so many topics. It's like it makes my mind flap and flip more than it normally does. So I just was thinking about how I was saying to my husband yesterday, I said, these schools and these teachers and these groups that are keeping, specifically you mentioned about the one in Hartford.
Yeah.
There's a church in Hartford that's doing things under the covert with youth.
Yeah.
There's a church here in Enfield that is doing the same thing. And it's and a lot of people in town don't like it, but God forbid you say anything about it.
Yeah.
And then that's exactly what happens. It slips, and you're
this, that, and the third, homophobe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And so you're kind of stuck in that situation, but we've got to be braver than that. Mm-hmm. And I wish that these schools or these the authorities would be able to press charges against these people that are doing this, and because it's not right. It's against the law. I don't know why they're not, for exposing children who are not in their care. They're not custodial, and they're exposing them to things they shouldn't be exposed to, and they don't have the parents' express permission. And I don't know that I would assume that there's a law that doesn't allow people to do that.
Teresa, what we have to do in those cases, and I've been thinking about this a lot as you're talking about this, like some of these things that they're doing, we know damn well. Like it's crazy to listen to John Silva tell a story about a school teacher who was sending inappropriate text messages to a child. And now he is out on bail, right? But he's been arrested and out on bail. Inappropriate text messages. And then to watch a guy named Bob Duff be on television talking about inappropriate images being a form of censorship if you don't want them in your school. Which, again, I would say if I'm, and again, not that I would, but if I'm the guy who just got charged with sending inappropriate messages, I would say, well, I was just sending the kid genderqueer. Bob Dove swears by it. You know what I mean? It's like there's a degree of which you have to sort of throw this ridiculous behavior right in their face and say, you know, not that it's a defense. And again, the teacher is absolutely wrong. That's what we're trying to prevent. What Bob Duff doesn't understand is that he's creating an atmosphere for this teacher to exist.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And kids deserve better than that.
Exactly.
You know? And they don't know. They're not mentally mature enough. They don't understand what's happening. And, you know, then we're arresting people for grooming kids. Well, there's so much out there coming out them. You know, you can protect them as a parent as much as you can while they're within your four walls. But once you let them out the door to go to school or even, you know, anywhere, and if they have phones, oh, well, then forget all about it, you know?
Yep. 100% right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Say hi to Roseanne.
I will, definitely. And last but not least, Robin Middletown, what do you got for me today? The cops did you wrong?
No, there's a great clip talking about battery packers. There's a great clip on Blaze my boy sent me. This guy, a patriot, he's waving an American flag. He neutralizes about 5 or 6 protesters.
Oh, I saw that video.
Knocks them all out. You seen that one?
Whoa, boy, did I see it. And this guy, what's so great about this is, in that video, everybody falls over like lumber. It's like this guy, whoever he was, this guy knew he was a technician with the fisticuffs because he knew exactly where to hit every attacker, and he was alone for that matter, by himself. And every person who came up to him, they got a 2-piece and a soda.
Yeah, my boy got some heavy hands, don't he? Dropping them.
Boy, did he. I mean, it was insane to watch. My wife looked at it. She goes, that's not real. That's AI. I'm like, no, that guy is real.
Yeah, I love the guy in the red jacket. He was going to straighten him out, wasn't he?
Oh,
he got straightened up.
He was
like a board.
He was walking over there just like, okay, if you guys, I'll do it. I'll finish him myself. He got finished.
He tried to tell him, leave me alone, man. Leave me alone.
You know what? You know what I'm going to do? When I get home, I'm going to re-edit that video with what's the name? With Hulk Hogan's I Am a Real American in the background. Because that's going to be perfect. That one's going to be absolutely perfect. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. I'll see you tomorrow, Reese.
You got it. I'll see you there.
I'll check you.
You got it. Yeah, that video is amazing. Have you seen that, Roland? The dude is he's there with a Trump flag and a bunch of protesters are coming around him, and they literally, he was just there peaceful, mind his own business. The couple of guys decide they're going to come run up on him, and this dude, he doesn't flinch. Every person that comes by, wham. And every person, we're not talking about throwing haymakers for the sake of haymakers. You know, people end up getting, wrestling onto the ground or anything like that. Every time this kid swings, he hits somebody square in the temple. It's like, boom. And you see the guy just go, just drops like a tree.
So he was a professional.
Oh, he knew what he was doing. He walked in there. I mean, I don't know if he was, I know he was provoked, but there was something about this guy that just says, watch this. And it was just, I'm watching it. I'm just going, and I was worried about him because he was getting surrounded. And I'm like, oh, my God, they're going to pummel this guy. And every person who came by, there's that famous line. You ever see that Reacher movie with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
And you remember when he's got the guys outside the bar? And he says, he goes, there's 4 of us against 1 of you. And he goes, 2 of you. And he goes, really? He goes, what are you talking about? You can't count? He goes, after I knock out the leader, which I believe is you, the other 2 are going to run. And that's what I thought was going to happen. He knocked out 2 guys, flattened them. And the other dudes were some of them were a little hesitant, and that hesitation caused them to walk right into the worst Clubber Lang I've ever seen in my entire life. Every guy slowed up a little bit, And because they slowed up, he was able to knock every one of them out.
So sometimes you got to learn on the job. They weren't prepared.
On the job training indeed, my friend. On the job training indeed. All right, folks, we're about to get up out of here. Remember, tomorrow we will be live at the Between Rounds on Hartford Turnpike in Vernon. I'll roughly get that about noon. So we'll go there. We'll have some lunch. And, of course, we'll powwow with anybody who's around. So come on by if you need to come by early. If you want to come late, come by late. We'll be there till roughly about 6, 7 o'clock. If you want to come hang out, be a part of the studio audience, if you have the time, please do it. Maybe some of my homies will come out. You know, maybe we get some of the homies, you know, the ones who are at home and listen all the time. Come on, get out of the house. Come by. Have a bagel. Have a Danish. Have a cup of coffee. Roseanne and I love the coffee. Roseanne drinks coffee all day. I'm not one of those people. I'm like a person who drinks coffee like up until 11:59 in the morning. After that, it's afternoon drinks. Coffee's a morning drink. So, you know, just come on and have a coffee. Have a smoothie. Have a smoothie. I will have 7. I will definitely have 7 because I love smoothies. And they know it over at Between Rounds. When I go there, they strawberry, banana, raring to go. Damn, do I love a smoothie. It's like my drink of choice. If they had an anonymous for smoothie, like Smoothie Anonymous, like I would totally be a member. And probably the only. I don't know why, but I do. And Roseanne always gets on me about it. She goes, you can't have smoothies all the time. And I always thought that was good. Can't you just have natural sugars? Roland, you're the big health nut. I heard Stephanie say that about you today. Roland's very much into health. Guess you've got a reputation there, buddy. Yeah, I mean, you seem to be the health nut. Well, you drink enough smoothies out of a pouch, people start to notice. I'm just saying. Anyway, make sure you're there. Greg Dillon just sent me a note. What did he say? Just sent you you did. You sent it. Yes, I did see that, Greg. You sent it to me. Speaking of Greg Dillon, he will be with us as well tomorrow. We'll talk about his book, Thin Blue Lie, and as well as these FBI, federal agents and what do you call it? State agents or state police and working together or not working together. And, of course, this rumbling about, these agents in some way combating each other. We'll talk to him about that as well tomorrow. Also, Connecticut Food Share will be there, and Joey will be there as well. So as I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night. Pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you at Between Rounds in Vernon. Mark Christopher, he is getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Good night, sir.